Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. And hello everybody, viewers out there, especially teachers and beloved pupils, SPM 2020 candidates. Today is 50th of February 2021, and in exactly a week from now, SPM 2020 will be held, inshallah. So while counting days for the big event, why don't you spare some time to listen to this episode, because I have prepared for you another video on how to face SPM English paper focusing on paper 1. And this time around, I'll be featuring another colleague of mine. She is a super talented teacher from SMK Kajang Utama, Puan Nor Eliza binti Zulkfli. So let's not waste time. Let us listen to Teacher Ellie. Teacher Ellie, yes. You start from here lah.
Okay. Now, I would like to remind you that you have got 45 minutes to work on your section A, and it's directed, meaning that you have no choice, but you have got to answer as the task requires you to do. You can be either tested on formal letter, informal letter, a speech or a talk, an article, or even a report. And you have no choice, but you have to answer what is given to you on the paper. Now, need I remind you, you have 45 minutes for section A and 60 minutes for your section B. So please think wisely and spare your time, manage your time well, because you don't have enough time if you spend so much time for your directed, and then you will lose your time for your continuous. Okay, let's go to the next one. Now, what I have here is, right. I would like to remind you to use ATR. What is ATR? ATR is what your teacher always tell you to read the question carefully and then underline the task, and then you have to answer the task. Okay. Remind yourself to practice this. Why? It will help you not to lose any marks. Okay, for example, let me go directly. Analyzing. Analyzing is where you read from the very first word up here, recently the garbage collectors in your housing area, up to the very last word at the bottom. Use all the notes given. This is where you analyze. You read thoroughly from the first word to the very last word. Why? You don't want to miss any of the important things here. Okay, this is A. And then you do your T. T is when you identify the task. In every question, you can have one task, you can have two tasks, you can have three tasks, and even four. When I say this, please remember, you will be highlighting this. You'll be underlining garbage collectors in housing area have not collecting the garbage. You have to write a letter of complaint. This is task number 1, no doubt. And this is task number 2. You have to use all the notes given. These are the notes given to you. Now remember, each writing, you have got format to adhere to, meaning that you've got format number 1, format number 2, and format number 3. These are marks given to you. Now you have got a letter of complaint here. I'm giving you an example of a letter of complaint. All right, for a letter of complaint, reminders are given normally at the bullets below the notes. For example, here, when writing your letter of complaint...
Ellie, stop sekejap.
Yeah.
Ellie.
Yeah, okay. Stop. Sabar.
Okay, sorry.
Okay, apa dia?
Tadi disconnection, sekejap.
Okay. Where do you want me to start? Nanti bagi tahu I.
Tadi disconnection sekejap.
Oh, kat mana?
Sorry, Lee. Tadi dia sebab dia keluar disconnection, that's why I suruh dia stop sekejap. My laptop. My connection lah, not yours. So you stop kat mana tadi?
Sekejap I try tengok mana I stop.
Garbage collection.
Dekat task.
This one.
I start here.
This one.
Alright.
Yes.
Okay, kejap Alright, tak apa, no problem. Just kalau ada yang because bila I present full screen, I tak nampak when it is disconnected tau. Hello?
Yes.
So maknanya you just...
Tapi muka you nampak kan sebab dekat muka. Hello, Rin.
Ya. Apa dia? Pak Tang?
Muka nampak tak muka?
Muka I tak nampak sebab I present.
I mean your face lah.
Tak nampak. I tak nampak my face.
So bila dalam the real Oh, you tak nampak your face. Tapi
I tak
nanti
nampak.
bila dah siap nanti, muka you nampak tak nanti?
Patutnya nampak lah. Betul tak?
Okay, tak apa. Continue.
Okay. Alright.
Yelah.
So I start off
Alright,
with
continue,
the
Alright.
task kan. Okay.
Hmm.
Now we go to the second one.
With this slide.
Okay.
Task. Okay.
Tengah recording kan? Tak payah go on aja lah. Alright. Okay. We go just now. Just now we were analyzing the task, the question. So now I want you to look at the task. You will be underlining all the ones that I've highlighted in red. Okay, write a letter of complaint, and then you have to use all the notes. Now, why I need you to label so that you will not forget any of the tasks required for you to do, and you have to accomplish. All right. So here it is write a letter of complaint. And then you have to use all the notes. Where are the notes? The notes are obviously here, being bulleted here. All right. And of course, for every different essay, you'll have a format, marks for format. Format number 1, format number 2, and format number 3. In this question is reminded, okay, please remember, read thoroughly. Why? Because some questions have got reminders not for you to follow, meaning that, for example, this one, it is a letter of complaint. And look at the reminder. Write the address of sender and receiver. So that is format number 1. This is 1 mark here. And then you have to give a title. This is format number 2. And then you have to sign the report or the letter. This is format number 3. So when you follow all this and you have the right format, there's 3 marks for you there. Okay. Now, let's go to the next one. We've done analyzing, we've done tasks, and this is what you have to do for the next one. Label all the content points. Content point number 1 up to content point number 11. Need I remind you, you've got content point number 1, 2, 3, until 9, which is already given to you. However, if you look at content point number 10, it is your own idea. And then content point number 11 is also your own idea. And where is content point number 12? Content point number 12 exists here. Give a suggestion. Remember, this is an important point where you have to include in your writing. Okay, so format is a 3 marks for F1, F2, and F3. And then content would be 12 marks. Okay. Now you see, if you miss any of the points, then you will lose marks here, because for directed, it's easy for you to get the marks. Because
Okay, Ellie.
Yeah.
Ellie.
Yeah. Where are you, Potang? Kejap. Yeah. Okay. Has left. Okay, got it. Connection. Biar Potang masuk balik. I'm presenting. Kat sini lah. Biar dia masuk balik. Tak apa.
Hello, Ellie.
Yes,
Ellie.
I'm here.
Disconnected just now. Okay, tadi kacau dekat 3 marks. The 3 marks.
Yang mana? Yang belakang ni ke?
Format 3 marks.
Yang
format
ini?
3 marks.
Yang ini, format 3 marks.
Sekarang I dah top up. Ya, format 3 marks. Sorry.
Format 3 marks. Boleh, no problem. Okay. So I start from here. Alright.
Yes.
Okay. It's still recording, right?
Yeah, still recording.
Okay. Alright, let me just go back. Okay.
Alright.
Now, if you look at this, you've got format, which is 3 marks. Okay, your format 3 marks, where do you get this marks? Is from the first one, F1. Now, when you read through the question, you will see there are reminders, okay? Don't forget, the reminders appear in the question itself. Write the address of the sender and receiver, that is 1 mark. And then when you give a title, that is 2nd mark. And then you sign the report or the letter, it is another 1 mark. So that would be 3 marks for format. All right. Now let's go to the next one. If you look at this, another thing that you have to do is you label all your content points. Why do you need to label all your content points? When you label all your content points, meaning that you will not miss any of the points. If you know you have got 12 content points in the question, then you will answer and you will include all the content points in your writing. What if you don't have the labeling? You only highlight this, highlight that, and this, meaning that you may not remember that you have missed out content point number 4. You may miss out content point number 7. Okay, so it's good that you label your content points so that you will not miss on any of it. So here I have labeled an example. An example for you, content point number 1 until content point number 9. And look at content point number 10. Okay, content point number 10 is your own idea. This is where you have got to chip in your own idea, put in another point, but any other point that does not exist here, that does not appear in content point number 1 or content point number 9. You cannot repeat any of the points, okay? And then you've got content point number 11. Also, you give your own ideas. Okay, let me get your attention. For content, is a 12 marks. You have got content point number 1 to content point number 11 here. And then look at where content point 12 appear. Content point number 12 appear right here, which is to give a suggestion. So for this letter of complaint, you need to give a suggestion, and then you have got to add in everything from content point number 1 until content point number 12. When you have done all this, then only you will get your 12 marks. So format is already a 3 marks. 12 marks is your content and 20 marks is the language. So you get 35 marks. Okay, now you have to remember, use all the notes given plus elaboration. These are the notes that you got. Remember that you have got to elaborate. How do you elaborate? You expand your notes by giving examples, by giving details. Okay, that's what you're supposed to do. Okay, now this is where you respond. Just now we've done the analyzing of the question. You already identified the task. So now you've got to respond. You respond meaning that you have to answer. You answer as what you should do. Just now is a letter of complaint. So it's a formal letter. Remember, F1, F2, and F3. All right, that's already 3 marks. And look at all the words that the points that were given in the questions are all in the writing already, in the essay already. Okay, you must include all the points here, even the suggestion. And then remember, when you write a letter, it is in present tense. And a formal letter is already a formal tone. Okay, so here, belief prevention is better than cure. What is this? So add in some idiomatic or meaningful expressions in your writing. At least one, to show that you know how it is used and it is used effectively in your writing. Okay, so this is an example of a formal letter. Okay, let's go to other types of essay. All right, this is an informal letter. Informal letter, you see that the address appears on the right hand side, and then salutation is here, F2, and then F3 is the signing. Okay, so you've got 1 mark here, 2 marks here, and 3 marks here. Okay. Now, what is the difference between formal letter and informal letter? All right. A formal letter, you know that it's more a formal tone, whereas an informal tone will appear in an informal letter. It's more friendly. Okay. And then remember, when you write a letter, use present tense, especially when you are addressing the person that you're writing to. Okay. And then, however, if you need to talk about something that happened in the past, okay, use past tense, because you are going to talk about something in the past, or you are telling to your friend about what happened in the past, and so you use past tense. For example, this one. Okay, this is about an event that happened in the past. So remember to use past tense when you are describing past events. And again, less formal and friendly tone in an informal letter. And then the ending is here. Can you see some? I've got meaningful expressions like as fit as a fiddle up here. And then I've got the word I have to pen off. This is a phrasal verb. All right, pen off. You can use this. And don't forget, for your writing, you don't forget to use your sequence connector. Firstly, secondly, besides that, why do you need to use all this? You need to use all this to remind yourself that you're going into a new point, and this will also signal the examiner that you are heading into a new idea. All right, so it's good to have sequence connectors. Okay, so now this is a sample of a formal letter. Okay, now let's go to the next one. This is a speech. Okay, a speech would be good morning to the principal, and then you give the name, and then don't forget the purpose must be in the speech. It must be mentioned. For example, good morning to the principal, and then you greet the other people as well during the assembly. And then look at this. I am Inspector Abdullah bin Hassan. I will be talking on how to defend your homes from burglars. So you see, the purpose is mentioned right at the very first paragraph. So the greeting as well as the purpose, and then you continue with your points in the other paragraphs. Again, can you see that I've got sequence connectors also? Why do you need sequence connectors? Again, because to organize your points, right? First of all, besides that, in addition, finally. And then how do you end your speech? You end your speech by saying that's all, or I would like to take my seat, and then you say thank you. Of course, you must mention the word thank you. All right, with that, I thank you. And here, another idiomatic or meaningful expressions. Yeah?
Thank you is compulsory, right?
Yes, of course.
Thank you is compulsory.
Yes, that's very right. You must say a thank you, be it a speech or a talk. And it is better to be safe than sorry. This idiomatic expressions or meaningful expression fits into this situation. Remember, when you want to use meaningful expressions, it must fit the situation when you are doing your writing. Okay? So this is an example of a speech. Okay. It is very important, right? Teacher Ahmad Tani, when you need to have sequence connector, right?
Yes.
Yeah, you must have to signal to because if your teacher reads it, even the examiner reads it, they know that you are going into a new point. So it's good to plan and organize your writing. Okay.
Mhm.
Okay. Can I move on to the next one?
Okay.
All right. Okay.
Yes.
Now we are going into an article here. Compared to the other writing, you have informal letter. The format is 2 marks, and then if you have the speech is also a 3 marks. No, the format is 3 marks. 3 marks. But when you look at an article normally the format is 2 marks. This is the title, and then you look at F2. F2 can appear up here by Muhammad Syaril Imran, or F2 can appear right at the bottom, written by Muhammad Syaril Imran. Why do you have different samples here? Because if you see different reference books, you have some which is right below the title, and then some which is right at the end of the writing. Both are acceptable as long as you have your F2 in your article, which is very important because that is marks awarded for you when you have your F2. Okay, so your name can be up.
You write your name.
Yes, correct.
As long as you write your name.
Yes, right. As long as you write your name, you can get that 1 mark. It doesn't matter if it's up here right below the title or it's at the bottom. And then one more. An article, normally, an article would need you to use present tense. Why? Why an article is always in the present tense?
Because it's factual, maybe.
Yes, correct. Your teacher is very right. When you have an article, you're actually telling or describing something of facts or something that happens on and on. So it's more of giving advice or something like that. So you use present tense. Okay. And then if you look at this, remember for the question, I asked you to label your C1 to C12. So here, if you want to check, like this is my checklist actually. I want to make sure that I have all my points. You can do this actually. You can write C1, C2. That means you have all your points here, but do not use your pen. Just give a little checklist at the column at the side using your pencil. That is fair for you to see whether you have got all the points given to you and you have written it in your article or in your writing. Okay? If you don't have it, it's okay. That means you have your own checklist on your question paper and make sure that you have it in your writing. Do not miss any of it because these are points and we want to get as many points as possible. Okay. Now, what do you actually see the on the blue ones, the blue bold ones? Again, these are connectors. Okay, sequence connector to show organization is very important. Okay. And then if you see the ones in red are actually the content points and the ones in black are actually the elaboration. The elaboration are needed. Elaborations is very important when you write your essay. Okay, but not too long, but make sure that it elaborates all the point that is given to you. You give elaboration, expansion of ideas, details, and examples. Okay, that is the most important thing. And I've got one meaningful expressions here. As the saying goes, health is wealth. And this one, health is wealth, and it fits the title, healthy eating. All right. So we have got an article here now. All right. I'm going to move to the next one. Shall I?
Okay.
Can I move to the next one?
Yes,
all right.
please,
Okay.
yes.
All right. So now I'm going to show you. Just now I showed you one question. This is another question. And if you look at this, you were sent to attend a wildlife warrior program. Okay, you have been asked to write a report to the teacher advisor. Again, the report is task number 1. Okay, what is it about? It's about the wildlife warrior program and what you did there. So that's task number 1, task number 2, and of course, task number 3 is you have to use all the points. Okay, again, reminder is always in the question. Look at this, format number 1. Address the report to the teacher advisor is F1. And then you have to give your report a title is F2. All right. And then of course, but this one, it did not tell that you're supposed to sign off. In this question, there's no reminder for you to sign off. But you have to remember there is an F3. Okay, so don't be hasty. You must remember well what you're supposed to, what's the right format for each writing that you have to do. Okay, so F1 is here, F2, and F3 was not mentioned. F3 is not mentioned here, which is where you have to sign at the bottom of your essay. Okay, and then another reminder is use all the points given. See, you have point number 1 up to point number 12.
Teacher Ellie.
Point number 1 up to, yes.
F1 to address the report to the advisor below. Do you think the candidates will be confused by the word address there?
Yeah, they may be confused by that. So please remember that when you address, it's actually 2. I will show you the example in a short while.
So it's not alamat.
Why
right?
is the meaning of to yeah, it's not your address. It's not your home address.
Yes.
It's not your teacher's address. Okay? It's not this. Okay, sequence connector to show your points. Organization is very important. Okay? I told you label from content point number 1 to content point number 12 because it's important for you not to miss any of the points. Markah ada and points are given to you. So don't waste it. Okay? And then once you have elaborated, again, elaboration is very important. Elaboration memanglah the details is actually the explanation and also plus some examples. Okay, let's go to the sample I have. This is the format. I need that. This is the address. Okay. To, remember, for a format, for a report, to the teacher advisor. Remember, it's not your address, yeah. It's not the teacher's address. To who is receiving it? Siapa orang dia? It must be your teacher then. So the teacher advisor of SMK, and then the name comes after. Okay, and then F1. Together with the date. Remember, for a report, you have a date up here, right below the receiver of the report. So you have the date up here. And then the title. The title, what is it about? The Wildlife Warrior Program. You see, of turtle conservation. And this is F2. So F1, you get 1 marks. F2 is a title, but F3 was not mentioned in the question. But you have to remember F3 for the report is down here. Okay, this is the sample of the reported by. Okay, remember it's reported by, comma, you sign, and then it would be your full name in capital letter, and then your position in the club. Who are you? Are you the secretary? Are you the president? So in a report is very formal. Do you understand?
Yes.
The report is very formal compared to the letter. If it's a letter to a friend, it's different. Okay. So here you see 1 mark for format number 1. That is to who is receiving the report, the date, and then the title is F2, and F3 is reported by. Okay. Who is doing the report? Okay. Okay, let's go to the content. Okay, let's look at this. When you say elaboration, these are only the points. Location. So you have to give your own location because in the question, there's no location mentioned. So you must mention location. I write here is Rantau Abang Terengganu. And then the duration is also not mentioned. So I given 3-day program. Okay, how long was it? It's a 3-day program. Where do you stay? Is a Malaysian youth center. And then 45 pupils nationwide are involved. Again, this is your own elaboration. If you look at the question, there is no mentioning of any. Okay, let's go back to the question. Is there any points given to you? There's no points given to you. Whether you like it or not, you have to think and situation. Okay, because it's a wildlife warrior program and turtle conservation. So I took Terengganu as my point because the turtles are more at Terengganu. Okay, so 45 pupils nationwide. This is also an elaboration. Who organized was also not in the question. So you have to fill in the blanks. World Wildlife Foundation, for example. So you have C1, C2, C3, C4. If you don't elaborate, you don't get marks here, You must elaborate. You must give your own idea here. Okay, so C1 to C4 already elaborated. Now we go to the next one. C5, it's already clean the hatchery from here. So you add on. The first activity we had was we cleaned up the rubbish. Why is it with the past tense? Already. Because this is a report. And it already happened. Yeah. Okay, a report is usually about an event that had happened. So you use past tense. The first activity we had, look at the past tense, was we cleaned, ED. There were a lot of rubbish. Again, this is an elaboration. It's not given in the question. And you look at this, look out. If you look at the question, it's not in past tense. Okay? The activities are not in past tense. So when you start telling about the event that is in the past, you use past tense. Okay? And then looked out for the nesting turtles at night. Besides that, we looked out for this is in the right sentence.
So
and then we had to make sure no
So when we use the notes, we don't just copy, but we have to change the note according to the situation. So in this case, it's past tense.
Yes, correct.
Yes. Don't just copy directly. Right?
Yes, you're very right. You cannot, because here when it's a report, you must change it to past tense. And then if you look at this, if you just add in only clean the hatchery, there's no elaboration, then there's no marks that can be given to you because you did not elaborate. Remember, one of the instruction in the question is for you to elaborate the points. So you must elaborate the points. Even though it's just a few sentences like this, a few words. Besides that, the word is here, look out for nesting turtles at night. So if you just have, besides that, this is an elaboration in the right sentence.
Yes, yes.
Okay? And then you have collected eggs. After that, we collected the eggs and then you continue with the next points. All right? So like, if you look at content point number 5 here, this is where the elaboration comes in very well. The first activity we had was clean the hatchery. In the point is the point given is only clean the hatchery, but you elaborate. Okay, clean up the hatchery. There were a lot of rubbish around the area, so you know that it's elaborated. Okay, give the details. That's very important. Okay, let's look at this. Content point number 9. Place eggs in incubator. Okay, and place eggs in incubator, our duty was to ensure the hatchlings are fed. Okay, let's say, okay, I've changed the question like this. Let's say question number 11, content point number 11 is your own idea. Content point number 12 is your own idea. Remember, when it's your own idea, you have got to add your own idea. Okay? Katakanlah, saya saja tukar kat sini. Katakanlah ini, dia tiba-tiba for SPM nanti ada content point number 11, content point number 12, your own idea. Remember, you cannot take up the idea that is given to you. You must take other ideas. Okay? You must take other ideas so that you can elaborate. And then, apa orang kata, and then you have to add in your own points there. Okay, our final task was to release the hatchlings to sea. Okay, different than number 10. Number 10 is ensure the hatchlings are fed. So our duty was to ensure the hatchlings are fed. Padahal content point number 11 is your own idea. So release the hatchlings to sea. Why? If you look at this, I'm giving you an example where what if in SPM dia tukar C11 and C12 your own idea. Nak tak nak, you cannot take the other points that is already given to you. You must come up with your own ideas. Itu very important. Jangan, do not take up the ideas or repeat the ideas given to you in the question. Okay? So, if it's like this, you must think carefully and make sure the ideas are relevant, or the points are relevant to the situation. Don't take ideas that is not relevant. You won't get points. Okay. So here, if you look at this, the idea is release the hatchlings to sea. And then some of the, nampak, there's an elaboration here. Some of the participants were feeling sad to let the hatchlings go. This is elaboration. What is this? This is a little bit of some feelings of the person who went for the camp. All right, and then look out for poachers. We had to look out for poachers. The poachers would want to get the eggs either to be sold in the market or as expensive delicacies. This is not in the points. So this is where elaboration is needed. Very important. Okay. So this is an example. You have just now 2 content point number. This is F1. Okay, take note here again. Let me just repeat. F1 is here. Okay, and then this is F2. F1 is this. You must have 2 and you must have the date. F2, capital and capital. Can we underline the whole thing? Can we underline the title? Boleh tak? Can we underline the title?
Yes. Maybe.
Actually boleh. You can underline the title as long as ini huruf besar. W huruf besar, P, T and C. Why? Because it's the title.
Yeah.
You can underline, no problem. If you don't underline, make sure it's capital letter. Tapi this one, if you want to underline straight macam ni pun tak ada masalah. Silakan.
Yes.
Boleh. Janji you have a title. Itu dah satu markah. Alright, so don't lose your marks. Kita tak nak buang markah kat sini. Alright, so here kalau tengok, if you look at this, again, first paragraph is about the first content point, second content point, third and fourth. Yang inilah the fourth content point tadi ada. And then yang underline, the one in the brackets are elaboration. Sebab tu elaboration is very important. Kenapa? Why? It adds up more ideas, it makes your writing more interesting. And in a report, again, guna past tense. Because nampak ni, the keyword is here. Last school holiday. Past tense. So you can ada ed, was, organize, state, were, had, joined. So kena ni lah. Bila you use past tense for your report, towards the end sampai habis, all the words pun, all the verbs must use past tense juga. Because it's talking about in the past. We have the word clean, looked. It's all over. Sampai towards the end is all in past tense. Okay?
Okay.
Look at this. After that, we collected the eggs. Yes, sir?
Yes.
Teacher Ahmad.
It's okay. Continue.
Okay. We are on the right track kan? Betul tak?
Yes,
Semua kena guna past tense kan, sir?
Yes.
Ah.
Betul.
So, nampak. And then, just now was F1, F2. What is this? This is F berapa? Nak dapat markah ni. This is F3. So, format 3 markah. Content semua mesti wajib ada in your writing. So, you get 12 marks. And then, your language is a 20. So, that's why it's a 35 marks. Okay? So, promise. So, we have this, an example of a directed writing. If lah, katakanlah keluar is a report. Don't forget this. Remember, your format is a 3 marks. Content is a 12. Whatever points you ada, whatever points are given to you, you must elaborate and make sure it's in past tense. Why? Because it's a report. Okay? Alright. Before we continue, Sir Ahmad Tani, is there anything that you want to add when it comes to our directed?
If I'm not mistaken, Teacher Ellie, I think for report, sometimes we don't need to address to anybody, right? Just the title, the tag, and reported by. So I think there are two
correct.
types.
There are 2 types of report.
Yes.
Correct. There are 2 types. One, you don't have to address it to anybody. It can be just a title and then reported by.
Yes.
Okay, so the reminder is always there dekat dalam soalan. In the question akan ada reminder dekat bullet bawah tu. That's why kena baca, mesti wajib lah baca from the first word to the very last word. Sebab itu semua adalah arahan soalan. These are all instructions in the question. So you need to know your task. When you have identified the right task, barulah you respond accordingly. Barulah cantik you punya essay.
Yes.
And then when you have fulfilled all the tasks, you will get marks for all the points that you have given, which is very important. Paper 2 is easy for you to score. Paper 1 is not easy for you to score, especially when you answer very hastily. You want to do it very quickly and then you will forget. Sometimes the good students also make these mistakes. Itu yang sedih. It's very sad to see that good students are also making silly mistakes like this because they know that they can do it, tapi they do it hastily. We don't want that. All right? Yes, correct. You're being very careless, whereby you can get marks, but you lose marks because of your carelessness. Okay. Can we go to section B, sir?
Yes, Teacher Ellie, please.
Okay. All right. If you look at now, we're going into section B. Just now, I've reminded you that you have 1 hour, 60 minutes. Okay, some students, they prefer to start their section B first, and then they do their section A. Okay, I don't want you to be too rigid. You must answer section A first or section B first. All right. Look at the question during the SPM on the 23rd. Look at the question first and see which one are you most comfortable to start off your essay. Sometimes section B looks easy. Easy for you to tackle for that day. You do section B. And if you think section A is easy for you to handle for that day, you do section A. So do not be rigid. Oh, I must do section B first and then I do section A. I do section A first and then section B. Don't do that. Look at how the question goes during the exam day. Okay. So it looks at the question and see which one you can manage well. Okay. So here you've got different types of continuous writing. That's descriptive, argumentative, expository, narrative, and reflective. Okay, what are these? All right, let's look at this. These are examples of a composition. Okay, of course, this is the instruction. Write a composition of about 350 words on one of the following topics. Only one out of the 5. Okay. I know some of you may want to write about descriptive because it's easier for you to describe people that you know or things or events that had happened. And then some of you are familiar with argumentative. Like this one, home-based learning is better than school-based learning. How far do you agree with this option? Okay, explain why. And then if you look at number 3, how do you prevent bullying in today's world of technology? Suggest ways to curb bullying and give at least an impact of bullying. This is factual. All right. And then number 4, write an unforgettable incident that happened while you were traveling with your family, ending your story with, we felt relieved that everything had turned out well. That's a narrative. And then you have action speaks louder than words. Write about an event that happened and what lessons have you learned from it. That's a reflective. Okay. Now, do not be hasty. I find that some students, when they say, describe a person whom you admire, and then they start writing without realizing there's another task. Okay, let's look at this. If you look at the question, you see number 1 is very easy, I want to do it. But don't forget, there's a task for you to answer when you're describing about this person. Remember, okay, let's go through every single one. Okay, describe a person. Of course, it's only one person whom you admire. All right. Of course, it must be somebody that you admire. But look at the second task. So this is task number 1. And then this task number 2, person that you admire. Number 3 is to explain. How? Yes, he or she has inspired you. Okay, in your life. Not in anybody's life, but in your life. So that is 1, 2, 3 tasks for you to work on. And then if you look at question number 2, home-based learning is better than school-based learning. Now, you've got to understand what is home-based learning. And then you've got to understand what is school-based learning. All right. And how far do you agree? Now, you have to you have to agree or disagree. You cannot stand by the fence. Okay? If you agree, so you have got, how far do you agree? This is task number 1. How far do you agree? And then explain why. Again, this is task number 2. So you have got task number 1 and you got task number 2 here. Remember, when you explain, you need to give more than one reason. Let's say for this kind of question, you have to give either 2 to 3 reasons to support why. And if you agree, make sure your points agree to your opinion. Don't give the reasons and suddenly one of the reason is disagree to your opinion. Okay? And then look at question number 3. How do you prevent bullying in today's world of technology? Okay, this is bullying in today's world of technology. When you say today's world of technology, this is not the traditional bullying by the street.
This is modern one, right?
This is yes, this is more on, take note, this is actually going into cyberbullying. Okay, cyberbullying. That's why I say, how do you prevent bullying? If you don't read carefully, you will talk about bullying as in physical bullying. But this is going into today's world of technology. So this is into cyberbullying. Take note. Suggest ways. Okay, when you say ways, how many ways are you supposed to work on?
Is it 3?
You have 2 to 3. Yeah. 2 to 3. 2 to 3. Actually, I would love it if you work on 3. Alright, 2 may not be enough, but 3 is just nice. 3 ways to curb bullying and give at least an impact. Okay, you look at this question. 1, how do you prevent? That's task number 1. How do you prevent? Suggest ways. So you have got ways here, 2 or 3 ways to curb bullying. And look at the next task. Give at least an impact of bullying. So you've got another task here. Nampak tak? Dia punya task ni, for even this particular 1 or 2 sentences of question, it actually gives you more than 1 task. So do not be hasty. You must read carefully. Okay? And then look at number 4. Okay, just now we have task number 1, task number 2, question number 3. Descriptive mention, argumentative mention, and factual mention. Let's go to this narrative. Let's go to narrative is about an unforgettable incident that happened while you were traveling. Okay, this is an incident. I realize that some students, dia nampak incident, dia bagi banyak incident. We don't want that to happen. Remember, for your trial exam, many make a lot of mistakes, whereby the question asks for 1 event, you give many events. The question asks for 1 only, but you give many. So here, look at this, an unforgettable. So there's one unforgettable incident. Yes, that happened while you were traveling. Okay, traveling with your family. Janganlah tiba-tiba you write about you and your friends. Your friends shouldn't appear in this incident. You cannot talk about your friends in this incident. You must remember that the incident involved you and your family. Okay, so here you've got task number 2 here. Remember, traveling with your family. And task number 3 is ending your story with, we felt relief. This is task number 3. For task number 3, when you have this, ending your story with, we felt relieved that everything had turned out well, do not, jangan, tak boleh tambah any other words after, any other sentences after this sentence. This is the end. No, dia kata ending. That's it. So your story or your line or your writing must end with this. We felt relieved that everything had turned out well. So, remember, you've got 1 task, an incident. Task 2 is traveling with family, and then you have to end your story, we felt relief. So, we finish with narratives. Now, we go to reflective. Action speaks louder than words. You must understand what does it mean by action speaks louder than words. Then only you write about this. Jangan salah tafsir, because when you salah tafsir, you misunderstand this line, the statement, then your essay may not work as it should. Okay, so here action speaks louder than words, meaning that your actions is more important than what you say. And then write about an event. Remember again, an event. Satu je. Task number 1 that had happened. Again, something in the past. Okay, an event that had happened, and what lessons have you learned? Lessons, so you cannot give only 1 lesson, you give 2 to 3 lessons. 2 to 3 lessons, this is already task number 2. What lessons have you learned from it? Okay, siapa yang learn from it? Not anybody else, but you.
You have learned.
So what you have learned from it. Don't tell about what we or anybody else. Tak boleh, cannot. So you have learned from it. So 3. This is what you have learned from it. So can you see that all this essay, if you look at from number 1 to number 5, there's not only 1 task in the question. There are more than 1 task. Maknanya, meaning that you tak boleh hasty, tak boleh be careless, read the question carefully before you attempt to any of it. Itu yang very important kan, Sir Ahmad Tani? Betul tak?
Yes.
Memang kena pilih yang betul-betul you're comfortable to answer, then only you will answer the question. So which one? Bila hari kejadian on the exam day, you read thoroughly and choose which one you're most comfortable with. If you are having the 50-50, you're not sure what to write, don't waste your time. Because if you will waste your time when you're not sure what you want to write, and then you're halfway there, but then you cannot finish. And then when you want to change your mind, you don't have the time to do another essay. And remember, this is 50 marks. Ni 50 markah. Don't waste your 50 marks. Okay? Because when it's too short, katakanlah your essay is too short because you don't have enough time. When it's too short, it's not even 300 words, 350 words. The most marks you can get, okay, I'll tell you, is about 8 to 13 marks sahaja. Maximum. You won't go beyond 13 marks because your essay is too short. So don't waste your time. It's okay to waste 5 minutes to read carefully all the questions and decide which one is the best for you for the day, rather than you do the essay halfway and then you waste your time and then you don't have time to write another essay. So be wise. Okay, think wisely before you continue. All right. Now your reminder, need the reminder. Like I said, choose a question you're most comfortable. Elaboration of ideas must be there. Start with effective introduction, and you organize, you gunalah new point, new paragraph, your sequence connector, and then language, you use grammatically correct and appropriate language, and use variety of words. Meaningful expressions, idiomatic expressions works here. Okay? Okay. Now, macam mana ni? You get only 1 or 2 sentence and then you have to elaborate. Okay, ask the many WH questions you can ask. Brainstorming by asking 1H, 5WH questions. Okay, you have who, why. Okay, I'm going to concentrate on one essay, which is describe a person whom you admire. Remember? One person that you admire. And then explain. Explain tu describe. Okay, describe dah satu. And then you kena explain. When you describe, you must go into how you feel towards the person, what you see about the person, what is the impact of the person. So you see, when describing, it can be anything as long as you talk about that person. Okay, and then explain. Explain is how he or she has inspired you in your life. Okay, so here you have, you brainstorm. What is his or her background? Where did you meet him or her? What is his or her personality? What is the most unforgettable, important event? How does she look like? How do you feel being with him or her? When do you spend time together? How is she or he so inspiring to you? And then what have you learned from him or her? So you see, these are WH questions. You have how, and then you have what, where, when, and who is that person, and why. These are important questions. You brainstorm banyak-banyak pun tak apa. It's alright. As long as when you brainstorm, it's actually giving you the idea. Lagi banyak idea. More ideas for you to write. And you have got to write 350 words.
Yes.
It's not easy. It's not, if you don't brainstorm, just fikir je, tak pergi mana-mana.
Yes.
Memang kena
Make sure
brainstorm. You must ask.
Yeah.
Yes,
On the blank
correct.
page,
Kena
right?
scribble, betul. Yeah, you're very right, sir. You have to scribble, write down, buatlah your mind mapping ke apa.
Yes.
But you have got to do your brainstorming. Must do your brainstorming. Do not go hastily and just keep on writing, and then as you write, you know what happened? Suddenly, you don't know what more to write. Tak cukup idea. Do not have enough idea. So plan well. Okay, after you have done all the brainstorming, macam ni, dah tanya WH questions, all the WH question, who, when, where, what, how, which, all the questions dah tanya, and then you can go on and on and on when you ask questions. Why do I like him? Why do I admire this person? Why is she so inspiring to me? What is the effect in my own life? Those are the questions that you've got to ask. Okay, and then after that, barulah you plan, susun. Plan, organize your points. You nak mana? Point yang mana? That one, and this, where you have to plan your ideas. After the brainstorming, terus go to the planning. Okay, look at this. Describe a person whom you admire. I choose one person. That is my mother. Okay, when I choose my mother, of course, everybody wants to know about my mother. So I go into the person's background. Where is she from? What is she like? Okay, so I go to her age and her background, and then who is she? I go into the detail. Okay, age, background, she's a Johorian, in her 60s, a mother of 4. This is where you give more adjectives. Okay, after I give a background, I go into this. Person's features, appearance, or personality. Okay, you see that she's kind. When you look at these words, that meaning that you know that I'm telling all the good things about her, how she looks like. And when you do this, the examiner can imagine this is what they have. They can picture the person that you admire. The person is kind, warm-hearted, medium built, sweet smile, thoughtful, a best cook. So dah nampak dah, what is it about your person? Remember, you have to describe. The word is describe. So the background must be given, and then the description is already here. And then barulah you explain how he or she has inspired you in your life. Okay, so here, how did you meet her? Okay, I've known her all my life. And then an event that happened, what is it? Faced with financial problems, take up orders, never complain to difficult times. I'm talking about my mother here, and why is she so inspiring? So there are events yang you mesti mention. You have to mention so that people would understand why is she so inspiring. Okay? And then how he or she inspires you. She taught me about resilience, patience, and trustworthy, and makes you a better person. Each day should be worth living. This is her reminder of what she tells me. And then last kali, closure at the very end. Okay, now if you look, I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Ada budak tanya, teacher boleh tak buat 5 paragraf sahaja? Boleh, tak ada masalah. You can write only 5 paragraphs as long as it's enough 350 words and you have tackled the question accordingly. You give the description of the person. You've done that? Good. You have already explained how he or she has inspired you? Good. And inspired you in your life? Good. It doesn't matter whether it's 5 paragraphs or 7 paragraphs. Okay? As long as you have elaborated and you have already answered, fulfilled the task, you should be good. Okay, now I have my paragraph 7, closure. Restate why you admire him or her, because she's a great role model. So, just now dah brainstorm. Ingat the first part was I dah brainstorm. So now is where I organize. My planning comes in. Okay, I nak buat paragraph 1, I apa? Paragraph 2, paragraph 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. So this my planning comes here, and then only I can put it into my paragraphs. Barulah I can have my whole essay, which is about 2 pages. Okay, that is about 350 words. Okay, let's go to my essay. Can I continue with the essay, sir?
Yes, please. Teacher Eli.
Yes, okay. Alright. Yeah, okay. So kita pergi. Terus. Okay, you nampak ni pendek je. This is not pendek, okay? Kalau you have my whole essay here, this is 350 words. Of course, in typewritten, it looks so small. It looks macam, alah pendek je kan? No, this is not pendek. This is 350 words, alright? Okay, let's look at this. I read to you and then you tengok. What is it that I brainstormed earlier and is it in my essay? Okay, many people have been giving me a lot of inspirations in my life. All of them are important in my life. I am a better person today because of them. However, I have one person. So first paragraph dah mention. I have one person whom I have known all my life. So kat sini dah ada my point tadi. And that person is none other than my mother. My mother is a Johorian and in her 60s. My mother is a mother of 4 who works as a clerk. She is a strong woman who always gives the best to her family. She's kind, warm-hearted, and full of love. She always takes care of all my family's needs. She's medium built, but she's not as strong as before. She has a sweet smile on her fair and beautiful face. She's always smiling, even though she's feeling too tired or whenever things were bad. Besides, my mother is very thoughtful, as she never forgets to prepare presents for our birthday. So this is describing. Do I have all the points I brainstormed earlier? All the
Yes.
points that I brainstormed earlier is already in my first, second, and third paragraph. So now I'm going to start with my explaining. I must say my mom is the best cook I've ever known. Her cooking is the best and she's ever willing to cook for her guests. She always prepares our lunch boxes for school and cooks after she comes back from work. I remember there was a time, this is where there is an important incident. There was a time when my family had many financial problems. My mother took up orders for her nasi lemak kangkong. Her nasi lemak was so delicious that many people had ordered, including her office staffs, my school friends, and even our neighbors. She managed to juggle her time, both working and selling nasi lemak. My siblings and I had also helped her out. However, we had never seen her complaining. There's a strong point about the mother, why so inspiring, about anything throughout our difficult times. My mother also taught about, this is the important values that the mother has taught. Resilience, patience, and being trustworthy. She always tells me to do good things because that is going to be the virtue in my life. She also tells me to reflect on what I have done each day. To her, each day should be worth living. This is the advice. And it is not to be wasted with bad things. To sum it up, this is the last one. Last paragraph, I find my mother as the perfect person who is so admirable. The word admirable is mentioned in the title. I love her for being my mother and for being such a great role model in my life. So, you see that the description is given in the first 3 paragraphs. The explanation is also given why the mother has inspired her in her life. So this is a sample essay that I can show you, and this is about 350 words. So this is one sample. So remember, ask your WH question, the 1H, 5WH question, who, when, where, how, which, when, all the questions. Brainstorm as much as you can, and then you plan out. Plan tu kena baik lah, kena susun elok-elok your points. And then that's where your writing comes in. Remember, you have 60 minutes saja. Only 60 minutes for you to fulfill this task. And 60 minutes to write 350 words is not easy. So I think this is the example I can give you, and I hope that everybody will be on your toes and everybody will work very hard. And I wish this should be my last slide, sir. Selamat Tani.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's it. So is there anything? Are there anything that you want to add?
Yes, Teacher Eli, I just need your opinion. They have exactly 1 week to go, right?
Yeah.
So within this 1 week, what must they do as the final preparation?
Kalau I kalau nak tulis dah banyak-banyak, dia dah takut nak tulis. Dia dah panic.
Yeah.
I would suggest them to keep on reading as much sample essays as they can.
Sample answers.
One,
right?
because when they sample answers. Why? Because when they read the sample answers, obviously there'll be new words or meaningful expressions that they will come across. Benda tu akan bagi dia idea. Satu lagi, because bila dia panic, the students panic, dia takut dia go point blank dekat dia jadi blank masa exam kan. So to prepare yourself, meaning that you macam when you read an essay and then there's one essay that you like, you tend to remember it well. You tend to remember it well. Maknanya there are some things, the sentence, I like this sentence that I can understand it well. Meaning that you tend to follow. Ikutlah. Sebab whatever is published in the book, selalunya benda tu dah proofread and then grammar dia cantik. Betul dah. Sentence structure pun okay, words pun bagus. So read sample essays. I tak suruh you tulis banyak-banyak sekarang ni. Tak ada masa nak tulis banyak-banyak. Tapi go through whatever sample essay that you have, because it will help you in getting more ideas. Tu dia lah. Sebab kalau I nak baru nak terfikir, tak ada dah. Sebab dia nanti pada hari kejadian ada ilham, adalah.
Alright.
Betul tak?
Yes. I agree with you.
That was I start continue reading as many sample essays as you can. You have got 1 week, 1 minggu je lagi.
Yes.
Tak ada masa. Right. Okay. Is there anything else that we have? Is there anything that you can think? Remember?
I think you have covered everything. Very detailed, very descriptive. Very
I hope.
detailed. I think I don't have anything more to ask. No.
Cuma,
Yeah.
I think you have to remind our student lah, bila dia tulis tu, kan, kalau dia start off with present tense, throughout the essay pun present tense, betul tak?
Okay.
Jadi jangan tukar-tukar.
Jangan
Don't
tukar-tukar.
change your
Your tenses.
Yeah, your tenses. You will get it will be very confusing. Yeah, when you use
when you read, you will be tensed by the tenses.
correct. Nanti bila cikgu baca pun bila pemeriksa baca, pemeriksa akan jadi confused.
Yeah.
So it's good that when you use present tense, you use present tense throughout your story. Itu kena consistent.
Yes.
That one you have to do.
Yes.
And then ingatlah, don't write too short. You tak boleh tulis short once. Kita nak get as many marks as possible actually.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, noted that, Teacher Eli.
Yeah.
Alright, I think. Okay, anything?
I hope what I've shared is enough.
Yes, it's enough actually. As what do you call that, preparation for them for the paper, which is next Tuesday, right?
Yes, correct. 23rd, right?
23rd, yeah, the second day.
Yeah.
It's always the second
I
day.
think I'm more nervous than them actually.
Yeah.
We teachers tend to be more nervous than the kids.
Every year the same thing, right? We have the same
Yes.
thing every year.
Correct.
Yeah.
We have the butterflies, not you.
Okay, Teacher Eli,
Okay.
I think we can call it a day.
Yes, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, and good luck to Kuses. Kuses rhymes with success.
Yeah.
I hope.
And good luck to
Niners.
your students too.
We call it Niners.
Yeah, you are the Niners, right? I've never been to the Niners before, but I wish you all the best.
Yeah. Thank you very much. Inshallah.
I wish you all the best. I'm sure everybody will be kicking their leg. Breaking their leg, and all the best lah.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Teacher Eliza from SMK Kajang Utama. And hopefully viewers out there, especially 2020 SPM candidates, have gained so much benefits from this episode. All the best from me to all candidates for the coming exam, and do not forget to pray a lot. As the saying goes, do your best and let God do the rest. Thank you for watching this video, and we'll meet again in our next video insyaAllah. Wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Bye-bye.